We're officially live. So let me send these shares out, make sure everybody hops in. And I think we're ready to go here, Joe.
I'm going to retweet yours just to give it a bump. All right, let's do it, Kyle.
I'm ready.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes here on the Draft Dudes podcast presented by Locked On. It's Joe Marino and Kyle Krabs from the Draft Network, and we are your hosts here on this live episode of Would You Rather. Today's episode is brought to you by Visa. Help support your local businesses, whether they're your corner stores, coffee spots, or local favorite shops and businesses. They have always been on your team supporting you and your community. But right now, more than ever, local businesses need our support. So let's be there for them. The next time you go shopping, make the choice to shop at local businesses and look for the contactless symbol and tap to pay with a contactless Visa to help support your community, because where and how you shop matters. Visa, official partner of the NFL. Kyle, good evening, sir.
You almost quick snapped me with the drink there. People who aren't watching this live will never know, but I just gave it away. You like to quick snap me when we record podcasts.
If you thought for a second I was even looking at you, you're wrong.
You just have a feel for it now.
Yeah, maybe so. But man, I'm excited about this stuff I have for you.
So you said you have five?
I got five
uncomfortable hypotheticals.
Well, I just don't think I'm asking questions that I definitely don't know the answer to. So
I would say this. There's a reasonable chance we have the same question for one another, at least one of our questions today.
Okay, so I'm going first.
Yes, but only because I had a better record against the spread when we did college football picks in week 2.
So you found a reason that didn't make any sense to drop that in here. Why does that mean I get to go first?
Because I got to choose whether or not to kick or defer on Wednesday's show when we did picks against the spread. So now you get the chance to kick or defer with the hypotheticals.
Okay. All right. So here it is. What game
I think
are we
that's
about
reasonable.
to watch? It's fine. Whatever gets me the first offering tonight is I'm happy with.
Okay.
So here it comes. All right. We're getting ready to watch Bengals Browns Thursday Night Football.
Yes.
So naturally, the question I have to ask you, Kyle, is would you rather move forward with Joe Burrow or Baker Mayfield as your team's franchise quarterback?
You asshole.
Let's go.
I knew it. I knew this was going to be a question and this was going to be a thing.
Did you have that for me? Was that the one?
Yes.
Yeah, that's why I needed to go first. I knew it.
Oh, I hate you so much.
Right. I did. You did this to me like several weeks ago, you know?
I know. It was 2 weeks ago I hit you with one.
Yeah.
Do you have a definitive answer?
Yeah, I have my choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it's not definitive. I don't feel good about my answer.
Right.
Yeah.
But like you know what answer you would choose for this.
Yes, but not confidently. So Browns and Bengals fans should just not be mad at us because we know it's not an easy question.
I gave Joe a higher score coming out of the draft process. And you pair that with some of the troubling plateaus that we've seen from Baker. And we talked on our TDN scouting staff meeting, Joe, about the dynamics of the 2018 quarterbacks and the situations that they're in, and saw the stat this evening on NFL Network in the pregame process that the only quarterbacks with 4 head coaches in their first 30 games as a member of their team are Baker Mayfield and Blaine Gabbert. And that's not good company. That's not good company to be in, right? So that's not to suggest that Baker is washed or Baker is done or Baker's not going to work out and be a successful quarterback. But you think about what he's been exposed to already in his process. And then you think about, well, I had Joe graded higher as a prospect coming out of the NFL draft process. I would probably lean towards the unknown of Joe, knowing that I liked him better as a player coming out of college versus some of the bad habits that Baker has gotten into early on in his career with Cleveland. I
agree with you. I think the hard part for me, Kyle, is I'm not quick to forget about 2018 Baker and what player I saw in the NFL, right? For as excited as we are about Joe Burrow, the resume that he put on tape in 2018, Baker Mayfield, was friggin' outstanding. And so that makes it really difficult for me. But I think we're probably being a little bit of a victim of the moment, considering last year and then the way he played in week 1, right? So you're at an all-time low.
It's not victim of the moment then because it's his last 17 games.
Sure, but the ones before that were exciting. I don't know. Somewhere inside of him is that player. I don't know. Baker seems like a tough guy, like a mentally tough guy that he can bounce back. I agree with you that it's Joe Burrow, but it's not easy for me to make that choice.
No, it's not an easy answer. Yep. Okay, so Dennis is going to bail me out here because he brought a really good take in. Dennis asks in the comments, being Micah Parsons, would you rather return to Penn State or continue your opt-out?
I think we both agree that he's going to be a top 10 pick.
Yes.
So you if you're already there,
they can do something really special this year, Joe.
Right? They can have a chance, man.
They're really good.
But I mean, we're talking. I mean, the only risk is if he goes back and gets hurt, and we'd have precedent for that. We've seen Jalen Smith. We've seen
who's
Miles
never
Jack.
been the same. Miles Jack played a tremendous football game week 1.
Yeah, Miles Jack is a good player.
Yes.
Jalen
Smith's a good player too, but he was not the player he was before the injury.
There's going to be teams that need him in the top. He's going in the top 10.
Okay, but put yourself in Micah Parsons' shoes.
I want to play football, so I probably would play football, right?
Right. And also, fun fact about Micah, he was born and raised in central Pennsylvania. Went to Bishop McDevitt in Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Played at Penn State. He's out in California right now training on he told NFL.com, somebody had an interview with him. He's like, I've never had this much free time in my life.
He wants to play ball, man.
I feel like the fire in the belly that is there for this decision to be made, regardless of whether or not the business decision dynamic of it is the conservative play or a little bit more of a risk. No risk it, no biscuit. No, I'll just say that.
All right, what you got, man?
That was it. You stole one of my takes, so now it's your turn.
So it's back to you. All right, so let's keep it on the game tonight.
Okay.
Would you rather? You can only make one of these bets. Which one would you rather pick? So would you rather bet the Bengals +6, the Browns -6, over 44.5 points, or under 44.5 points? If you had to put $50 down right now, which of those following would you
That's
put?
a large bet.
50. Yeah, I know. You are like the $20 specials. I know. So
did you get these from our friends over at Bet Online?
Of course. Where else would I get lines from?
Nowhere at all. Cleveland -6, did you say?
Cleveland -6, Bengals +6. The over-under is 44.5.
I think I'd take the over.
Really? Thinking points here on this Thursday night?
Yes. Sloppy play early on. 2 quarterbacks ready to prove it. Plenty of skilled players at their disposals on offense for both teams. Still early in the season. Sloppy tackling at play. 2 teams with dynamic backs that can create out of the backfield. Give me the over of 44.
And I mean, a lot of injuries on defense, right? Like the whole Cleveland Browns secondary's hurt. And then you have both the tackles for the Bengals.
To the over.
Bengals have Geno Atkins and Reader. Both are out tonight, right? All right. Fireworks on Thursday night.
Over 50 points, $50 on the over.
I'm going to go put money on this. Maybe. I don't know. Flip a coin. All right.
Oh, let me know if you do, because I will definitely jump on it with you.
Do you want to root for this together? You want to do this?
Yeah. Like we're going to put $50 on it?
Not 50. No.
Okay. No. Okay. I had somebody asked us to come up with a bet, and the loser would have to shave. They said the beard versus the stripe. The
stripe. Yeah, I saw that. I died laughing. Yeah. I was trying to have dinner with the family, and I'm like, oh my God, I saw that. Started cracking up. I'm not taking that bet, by the way. This beard's staying, brother.
Oh, okay. That's too bad. So I did mine on my phone today. Would you rather, as a college prospect, college football player, would you rather play 4 years for Mac Brown or Mike Norvell?
What position do I play?
It's up to you. But it has to be the same for both teams. So while Joe stews this over, Joe is the ACC regional scout for the TDN scouting staff. He has frequently professed his love for Mike Norvell's offense. But you like Mac Brown too. You really appreciated what he did last year. All-time recruiter, super accomplished, Head coach?
Yeah, I think that's why I'm going to pick Mac Brown. I think he's just a little bit more established in what he's doing. You know, you saw some riffs with Norvell early at Florida State with some inconsistency with his messaging, some players kind of calling him out on some stuff where I think Mac Brown, I mean, he's had a ton of experience. He's won in multiple places, obviously a long list of putting guys into the NFL. And I like that. I like the role that he's embraced at this point in his career, just in terms of kind of being that CEO, but being a true leader. And I don't know, I've got a chance to go to some of his press conferences. I've had a chance to ask Mac Brown some questions, and I've really grown an appreciation for him and just like his style and thinking about what we started as we've matured as football people, started to value in leaders of teams. And I feel like Mac delivers that to you. So I'd want to play for Mac. That's a good question, though.
Thanks.
All right, here we go. Which 0-1 team would you rather bet on to fall to 0-2 this week?
Okay.
Tampa Bay, who hosts the Carolina Panthers,
Okay.
or the 49ers, who travel to the New York Jets.
Man,
which one?
This is impossible.
Let's go. Which one has a better chance? You had to put money on going 0-2. Now, we both probably agree.
San Francisco's traveling to
1-1.
Yes. San Francisco's traveling to New York.
To New York, yes.
And Tampa is home.
Home hosting the Panthers.
I'll take the lazy way out and say San Francisco with Kittle questionable and having to travel across the country is a better chance of falling to 0-2 than Tampa Bay at home hosting Carolina.
Yeah, 0-1 Tom Brady ain't losing in week 2, is he? But then you're counting on Gase's Jets.
Right, probably not, but like Carolina's got some ballers too on defense.
They got players. Yeah.
Did you see the rep of Derek Brown against Gabe Jackson?
Heavy hands, brother.
He almost put 350-pound Gabe Jackson flat on his ass, and then he hurdled him. In the same rush, he hurdled him. I was like, whoa. And then Jeremy Chin, some of the film studies indicate Chin might have been one of the best players on the field for the Panthers defense in week 1. Imagine not liking Jeremy Chin as a prospect.
Can't.
I can't. Could not be us. Could not be the dudes. But yeah, I'll still leave my answer the same, primarily for Kittle's questionability and the travel component.
And we throw a wrinkle in here.
No, don't. Okay.
No, it's not changed. It's just like, have you considered the fact that you have an Adam Gase offense, a Greg Williams defense? We know exactly what that is, right? Yeah. We're still learning about a Phil Snow defense and a Joe Brady offense in the NFL.
No.
Does that give the Panthers a bit of an edge?
No.
You're still rolling with Gase.
Tom Brady. Not betting against Tom to fall 0-2.
I don't blame you. I think it's the right bet.
It's also a very challenging question. Okay, speaking of challenging questions.
All right.
Would you rather try to pretend you're a coach or a GM? Would you rather try to make it through a full 16-game season with either one of these two players as a 16-game starter?
Okay.
Sean
so I got to
Lee,
choose one of these guys to be a 16-game starter for my team.
Sean Lee at linebacker.
Okay.
Or Mike Pouncey at center.
I mean, that's hard. Those guys both got hurt.
That's the point. And they both have a very
year?
extensive track record of being hurt. So, like, you have to bet on one of these guys playing 16 games next year. Sean Lee or Mike Pouncey?
I guess Pouncey. I don't really have any great reasoning. I mean, he's having the hip surgery now, which when he signed with the team, like, that was known, right? And somewhere in the next 5 to 10 years, he would have to have this surgery. So, I mean, Sean Lee's just always hurt. I know he actually played 16 games last year, didn't he? Somehow.
He did, but he didn't start 16 games.
Right. So it had him on, I mean, LVE was hurt last year too, right? So they're like very cautious. Like they're picking their spots to get him on the field, but they want him around. You,
my friend, you're betting against the odds.
Because of the hip?
Yeah.
Or because do you have stats on Pouncey and his 16 game?
He played 16 games his first 2 seasons in Miami, and then he didn't play 16 games for 4 consecutive years, and then he played it in a contract year in Miami, and then he played 16 games in 2018 with the Chargers, but I believe he got hurt at some point throughout that season and played through an injury, And then he played in 5 games last year, and now he's going to miss all of this season.
I mean, I don't feel great about either choice, but I guess Pouncey, because
to be fair to Mike, he's played 16 games 4 times as frequently as what Sean Lee has.
There we go. All right. So now I feel better about my take there. All right. This is a self-serving question.
Okay.
Which Miami Dolphins running back would you rather start this week in fantasy football?
None of them. Don't touch them.
No, you got to start one of these guys. Who are you putting in the lineup? Jordan Howard, Myles Gaskin, Matt Breida. Hell, if you want to put Patrick Laird in there, throw him in there. You got to start one.
I'm in the process of charting every offensive snap for the Dolphins from a personnel, down and distance, result of the play, assignments. I've done the first half of the game. Jordan Howard was pretty prevalent in the first 2 series, but Miami was weird with their personnel. They ran more 2-back sets than anything in the first half, which was really surprising. And they tried to space the field and then tried to run into box counts where the Patriots clearly did not respect their ability to beat man coverage. So they still stuffed the box despite the fact that Miami, and they just put everybody on an island outside. And the Dolphins would they'd get the too high safety look and they're like, all right, we're going to run it. And there'd still be 7 guys in the box versus 5 blockers because they had everybody spaced out. So I would want to go with somebody who has some receiving upside. So I probably wouldn't lean super heavy onto Jordan Howard unless the Dolphins come out with a completely different game plan this week to play the Bills. So with that in mind, Matt Breida probably feels like your most optimistic play. I think he'll get a lot. He averaged 4.5 yards a carry in week 1.
Gaskin had 65 total yards on 13 touches?
Yeah, he played the vast majority of the snaps. So I don't know if that was they trust Gaskins in pass pro versus Breida. I don't know what it was. But once the Dolphins went down 11 points in the second half, it was like our game plan's out the window. We just got to try and move the ball.
So you wouldn't play any, but if you had to play one, you would choose.
I'd probably choose Breida this week.
What a night. So this is literally my situation. I have all 3.
Yeah, don't play him. Don't play him.
Oh.
Cut one of them and pick up somebody else. That's what I would tell you.
It's pretty deep league.
Can you get Peyton Barber?
No. So that somebody paid. We have a $500 waiver wire
you told
budget.
Me this. You told me
$225 on Peyton Barber. I thought I went high at $27.
No, man.
There was 2 bids,
$225
and $27.
Free agent auction dollars are insane. The strategy there gets crazy where it's like, all right, I absolutely need this one guy, so I'm going to go all in.
He spent half of his budget to get Peyton Barber. Man.
I'm trying to think of who you could pick up. We're not TDM fantasy. I'm not even going to get into that.
No.
Ask Jamie, Paige, and Jake.
Jamie answers my questions, and that's really cool. I have I'm on direct line.
It's the employee benefits, right?
I guess, yeah. One of the
free
perks.
Fantasy advice.
One of the perks. Even though in the league that I was in with Jamie, just want to point it out, I finished higher. I finished second in that league. But
okay, so anyway, we have a game with a team tonight in the Cincinnati Bengals who experienced a loss in week 1 with a offensive touchdown that was negated by a penalty on the team's final possession. And then the kicker subsequently missed a not long field goal to tie the game to force overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather lose a football game like that or by 5 touchdowns?
Oh, I want to be in it.
So you would rather have your heart broken than just be demoralized from start to finish.
Yeah, man, there's nothing worse than getting fired up to watch your team play on a Sunday and then just realizing that you don't have it. You don't have the coaching that day. You don't have the talent that day. You don't have the game plan. That's demoralizing because I'm going to watch the whole thing. I'm never going to turn the channel. I'm in. When I watch the Bills game, I'm watching until the kneel downs are done at the end. So I'd rather be engaged in it and have an idiot kicker miss a field goal at the end. And
at least you could just be angry with one guy instead of the whole team.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. And it's a kicker, right? Kickers were bad. They were 71% last week. The worst in years. So do you think kickers need crowds? Is that what it comes down to? Is it
Maybe.
Too much of a
the reverse free throw shooter, you know?
Yeah. So whenever fans are back in stands, just totally don't get loud. Just totally just get quiet.
It's like the was it that Pepsi commercial with Ron Rivera and the Panthers, and the opposing team's getting ready to kick a field goal, and he breaks out a Pepsi and he cracks the Pepsi, and everybody in the stadium cracks the Pepsi, and they all go,
yes,
and it blows the kick wide.
Yes, exactly. We got to. This is what we got to do.
Scenario. All right, we have two interesting ones in the comments.
Okay,
one of them centered around Thursday Night Football. Would you rather change the logo of the Bengals or the Browns?
The Bengals logo is fine. They just don't use it.
Correct.
And I don't like I'm not talking about the B. I'm talking about like the actual
tiger. Actual tiger.
Yeah. What I mean, whether it's just a plain football helmet, Elfie, or I don't know. They have
they got the dog.
Sort of a logo. They have like the C now too, right? Like one of their ultimate logos.
I'm not a fan of branding that features a orange helmet.
Correct.
And that's your logo.
Well, now going back to their current uniforms was a great move.
Yes, and they're wearing the orange pants tonight, which is stock up.
With brown
the brown tops. Yes.
Okay. And now if we could just get the Bengals to commit to their color rush, we'll be in business.
This was the other one. I assume this is the one everybody's real mad we're not talking about, quote, Jimmy versus Minshew. So, Owen from Premium Slack. Would you rather, from the Slack today, for one game only, start Jimmy G or Gardner Minshew? This is a perfect question for you to answer.
Yeah, what did I say in our scouting meeting the other day? Do you remember? I was like, I'm just done talking about Gardner Minshew.
Don't talk about Minshew anymore.
I'm getting clowned, right? Like he continue. It just keeps working, right? Like my process in not believing in Minshew makes a ton of sense, but like he can only go out there and play well for so long before I have to be like, I got to back off this, right? Because now I'm just sounding stupid. 19 to 20 with 3 touchdowns.
Quarterback to dub this past week.
I don't know. I mean, Jimmy G's. I guess he's done more. For one game, I mean, I feel like remainder of team matters. But then again, Jacksonville doesn't have good remainder of team.
Imagine not having a 4th round grade on Gardner Minshew.
If this is going to be your thing, this is your thing. Whatever. Like
4th round grade.
He wasn't for me. There it is. I'm Kyle Krabs.
There it is. He wasn't for me. He's not
for me. Not for
me.
me.
Anytime there's in question, just you know what? He's not for me.
He wasn't for me. Yeah. It wasn't my flavor.
So is that are you picking Gardner Minshew over Jimmy G?
Yeah, let's just do that just so that I can start changing my own narrative here.
I think I would.
Gardner's
got that flair about him, extended that whole extended play dynamics.
Yeah, it matters, right? You have to be able to do that in today's NFL. Yeah.
And I don't want to say Jimmy G doesn't have like the right intangibles, but Gardner like oozes intangibles. Right, as far as how his teammates gravitate towards him and players gravitate towards him and the energy brings, like you can see that from afar. I don't necessarily get that vibe from Jimmy G. And again, that's not to say that he doesn't have it. But
is Owen taking shots at me right here? Oh wow, what's it like? Is that me?
I think he in the Slack probably said he would rather have Jimmy G over Gardner Minshew.
Is he a 49ers fan?
He is, yes.
Okay, so naturally. It's just like, what did I put on
Twitter?
Don't be
today? Homers in Slack, guys.
Dude, I put on Twitter today, right? The PFF puts out like a graphic saying, because Louisville and Miami are playing this weekend, like, would you rather have De'Aaron King or Mikael Cunningham? So I quote tweeted it and I said, Mikael all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. And the pun was intended, right? Because I think Mikael Cunningham's like a reasonable prospect. There was only one group of people that seemed to be upset with my take, and all of them had Canes in their bio. I'm like, all right, let's see.
It's partially my fault.
Canes fan. Yeah. What is it your fault? What?
Oh, I got the big Dolphins conglomerate in Miami, and they probably follow you by extension of me and our work together.
I've been so kind to Miami Dolphins over the last 2 years.
You've been very objective about the rebuild. Yes.
Right. Willing to let it play out.
You should probably listen to Thursday's edition of either Locked On Bills or Locked On Dolphins.
I listened to yours. I listened to yours today.
How did I do?
What you said in the lead there. What did you wait? Just give me one clue as to what you talked about in the opening segment. What was it? You don't even remember. You said you were talking about something good. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it was it was great. It was pre-snap motion. You were talking about
they were the Dolphins were 22nd in the NFL in pre-snap motion and 29th in the NFL in motion at the snap in week 1.
And I really liked what you talked about, how they're like the clues that can be given to you, the information that you can get from those things, and it needs to be more a part of what's going on to help the offense more. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Thank you. So, it's been continuously eye-opening and charting the Dolphins' week 1 performance. You have what? One more, two more?
I have one more for you.
Okay, you got one more, and then Paige has requested we get Bill Butler. Isn't he Bull Bittler on Twitter?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, so I'm not a total jackass.
No, Paige, did she answer my Instagram? She just smiled at me. Like, answer my question, Paige. I asked you. She just put laughing emojis at me, and I don't know what to think. You know what I mean? I'm like,
give me your take. We got
4
minutes here.
All right. Would you rather your GM? This is your GM scenario of the week. Would you rather take over as the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons or the Indianapolis Colts?
Indianapolis Colts.
Whoa, that was a boom, right? What's that about?
I think the Falcons are teetering on the brink of that like purgatory window. And I don't want to be a part of being stuck in the middle. The Colts, the way that Chris Ballard has continued to pool assets and manage the cap situation and the offensive line infrastructure that they have in place there. And I like the dynamics in their front seven much more so than Atlanta. I know Atlanta's got Grady Jarrett. I know they got Deion Jones. But Atlanta's cap situation super hazy versus Indianapolis. It's very clear they got a ton of spending power if they need it. I feel much more comfortable taking over Indianapolis knowing that I'm going to have to go out, find a quarterback. That's fine. I might be a quarterback away from competing. In Atlanta, yeah, I got some elite pass catchers, and I got Matt Ryan. But then I got to worry about, okay, how long is Matt Ryan here for? When do I have to make the decision and the dynamics to move on from Matt Ryan? If Matt Ryan's going to force me to make that decision, no, it's too messy. Give me the Colts.
Very cool.
Do you agree, disagree?
I'd probably pick the Colts.
All the affirmation I need. Last question. Oh, and we know you're not actually a homer. Don't worry. He's in the comments. He likes Gardner. Jimmy's team has had more success. And we know you're not a homer. Don't worry. Bill Butler. Would you rather build your franchise around Washington's defensive line or New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones?
I have my answer.
Go ahead. It's for you.
Washington's defensive line. 5
first-round picks versus 1, right?
Yeah, and look, I know what I'm getting with that Washington defensive line. It's a disruptive. I mean, it's just dreamy, right? And Daniel Jones, I'm a fan. Like, I think he's got a chance to be a really good player, and I'm really encouraged. And I think some of the stuff that he has to work on is really fixable stuff. I mean, he's impressed me, but I feel like I'll take that defensive line and trust myself to find a quarterback that I maybe even like more than Daniel Jones. So,
right. I think that's the correct take in my opinion. You have to be convinced you've got a quarterback to choose the quarterback over the front, the defensive front that Washington gives you. And while, like you said, like Daniel continues to kind of surpass my expectations of him in the pre-draft process as far as his flashes, but the negative plays continue to be very problematic.
Yeah.
And they got to go away before I'm convinced that I would take Daniel Jones and commit myself to build around him. So if I've got more questions and answers there, give me the volume. I get 5 first-round picks up front. That's it. We're done. And we finished on schedule, which is a bonus.
Proud of us.
I never count on us to finish on time. But here we are. We've been going for 30 minutes. We had a great time. Everybody in the comments brought the heat. Really enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you hit subscribe. Come on back. See us again sometime soon. Kyle Krabs, Joe Marino, Draft Dudes Podcast. We are back Monday for a regular show, Monday night for Takes on Takes. So plan accordingly. It's on YouTube, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Monday and Thursday on YouTube, we will go live at 7:30, give you some pregame entertainment, and then wrap up for the primetime games. That's our schedule. We hope you will plan accordingly. Come back and see us again.